Welcome back to Ty and That Guy. I am Wes Chatham, and this is my good friend Ty Frank, and we're here with the lovely Nadine Nicole and Frankie Adams, who's tuning in all the way from Australia, the land down under.
Hi.
What are we talking about today, Ty?
The Azure Dragon. So I'm going to say it for you so you know how to say it.
Yeah.
The Azure Dragon, 602.
602,
Yeah,
Azure
it's
Dragon.
big episode because it's Frankie Bobby joins the team on the Rossi.
Oh, I've been waiting for this moment my whole life.
You know, before we get in that, one thing that I wanted to talk to you about that I haven't had a chance to talk to you about is that out of all the characters, the biggest mind fuck that I think is what Frankie with Bobby Draper goes through to spend generations preparing to create this new world with Mars, being bred and built from birth to be this Martian Marine, this combat veteran, and then to have this country or this planet that she believed in lie to her, strip her of her title. She's now working in scrapyard. Now she's, Avasarala's right-hand man going forward. So what is Bobby Draper's mindset like going into this season? Where is she at mentally?
I mean, I think her journey in general has always been about identity. And then once that's completely betrayed and taken away from her, she sort of finds her place with Avasarala, which I love because working with Shohreh is incredible. But there's still not that sense of military team sort of thing that she's used to. She's kind of just like this independent realm that Avasarala uses. And so I think once she comes into the Rocinante, it's sort of this like new camaraderie that she's really used to, that she thrives in. And like, I think that's something she's been craving for a really long time.
It must feel good getting back to combat from her perspective,
Oh yeah, the old sooty suit is back. Oh, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah. Yeah. We're talking about the episode now. You could talk a little bit too about the off-screen challenge with that suit. We had a long conversation about that yesterday because everybody asked us what it was like in the suits, and it was like, look, I thought it was rough in our spacesuits until you work with the Frankie. And I always know that she's in a suit when you walk in and you just see this scowl on her face and just dripping sweat. And I was like, uh-oh, today's suit day for Frankie.
Look, I try my hardest to have a good attitude in that thing. I think if anyone else was in it, they'd be way worse. But my shoulders hurt just thinking about it. But it looks so cool in the end. So
I think most people don't realize how heavy that suit was. The helmet is really heavy. The backpack is really heavy. Yeah, I mean, what when you're wearing the whole thing, what is it, like 45 pounds? Something like that?
But then towards, like, after the 6th hour, it feels like 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Because it's not only the weight of the suit, you have a wetsuit underneath that weight. So
Right.
you're in a sauna carrying weight, doing stunts.
Yes.
Right.
And
That's
it's
because
really
we
hard
love
to
our
move
actors.
in. There's one particular maneuver in season 6 that I was so proud of because I did not think I'd be able to move that way in the suit. And we made it work. Well, I made it work, but and it looks so good. And yeah, when it comes out, I'll have to remind people what move that was.
There's a scene that we won't talk about that's coming up in the future where I'm supposed to lay you down on your back, and because it's not flat in the suit, and you kept tipping over with the bag, like trying to balance on the thing, and that was the.
I feel like a turtle in it.
Yeah. So Nadine, I think that you have one of the great redemption arcs of the Expanse, and I know, and I'm just really, we're both really impressed with like the work that you've done, especially with, I don't know if because you come to season 3, and we shoot this, and then you take a season off, and you're basically as bad as a character that Expanse gets. And then you come back, and then now you become this character that everybody's rooting for, and everybody, even though you were just trying to kill Holden, and now you come and everybody's rooting for and wanting the best for you, and it's such a beautiful arc, and it's so well done. Talk a little bit about your process, like in terms of how you approached it, and then did that throw you off, taking a season off and then coming back?
I mean, it made me nervous again when I came back. I had to go through like the re-entry.
Yeah.
But I love how that guy yesterday was like, yeah, I hated you at first.
Exactly.
Like, that's good. I guess
Yeah.
that's what's supposed to happen.
Uh-huh.
But I think how you wrote Clarissa to kind of, it makes it easier to like her because she's very weak in the beginning. Like she doesn't really have a sense of self, and you feel bad for her because of how her dad treats her. So there's like a tiny little bit of empathy there at the beginning because of Mr. Mao. So I don't know. I actually used a little bit of my own family and my own experiences. I'm the elder sister of two, and my sister's the middle child, and we talk a lot. We're really close. We're a year and a half apart, and she does have like middle child syndrome to the nth, and we talk about it a lot. So I was able to tap into that with my sister because we call each other soulmates, and so I really just got to feel with her for a bit at the beginning of that and understand that a little bit better with her for Clarissa. And then, I mean, just vying for love and acceptance and from a parent in general, like,
Yeah.
I think we all kind of can go there. I was really glad, like I wanted to come back. I wanted that chance for the book's arcs and the redemption. And I was hoping, because I've been characters on shows before that people hated, like splitting up the best love couple or whatever, and they're like, get away from him, you slut! Like they're like, we hate you, die. I'm like, oh, I'm not actually that person. So it was really fun. It was good to come back, and then the show's written so well, and it was pretty easy.
Obviously. But part of it, I mean, this is your story too, because I'm going to talk about you a little bit. You're in this show.
Oh,
yeah. Part of what we're doing with Amos is because we love Amos and because we trust Amos as an audience, when Amos sees the broken, hurt person inside of Clarissa that needs help, it gives us as an audience permission to see her that way too. Because we love Amos, and if Amos sees something in her that is worthy of love and help, then it's okay for us to feel that way. And that's part of what we're doing there with him. And he's the first to recognize it, because he says, oh, she's the victim of childhood trauma. The same way, because he knows that because he was the victim of childhood trauma. He sees it in her and go, oh yeah, she's like me. Mm-hmm. And so that just cracks the door a little bit into what her trauma is, and then the rest of the audience can kind of follow it.
Yeah, I think when they had that journey back to Earth, and you came down and working in the machine shop, and I knew that you were headed to prison, and there was a moment there's a phone conversation that we have in season 4. In preparation with that, I think that looking at it and realizing that she's not evil. She's not doing these things from a malicious place, that she just has this misguided love and loyalty for her father. And she's been so badly treated that this is the outcome of that. In that conversation, I thought there was a really powerful and sad moment where Amos gave you the opportunity to kill yourself and put you in it, and that was his moment of grace. Yeah. And you were basically like, I saw what you did there, and thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I was like, are you ever coming back? Are you ever going to come say hi? Like, no.
Yeah, no.
But you can see a sense of remorse and shame, so you get that she knows that she did something wrong. And in the books, you do such a good job of describing her revelations and transformation and like getting it in her cell.
Well, and Bobby's coming on the ship creates some chaos because, of course, Amos is uncomfortable with what the ship is doing. He's uncomfortable with the whole situation. Holden's bringing Bobby on and is worried that she's going to say, well, there's also a fugitive on the ship. We should probably arrest her. And so he's trying to like make sure they don't run into each other. And then there's that moment where Amos hits the thing and goes, hey, Clarissa, here's Bobby. You guys should just get over this, whatever it is, and then walks off the deck. So there's a little agent of chaos thing happening here with Bobby showing up.
What I love, what you do so well, Frankie, and is I love that how, and what was written well is basically how you just kind of treat me as your pet. You out alpha the alpha. You come in the room and you're like, don't you worry your sweet little buns about it, honey bun. And you have a way of just completely like taking that away from Amos. And Amos is like, I like this girl. There's something on there.
I love it so much. But he is a baby compared to Bobby. Right?
Right. Yeah.
Like, she is the alpha in the room, and I think she's got no fear around him. She totally knows that he's like, quite intense and loves to fight, but there's nothing to back that up. So I think it's just like makes so much sense, and God, I love it so much.
Well, if you watch the X-ray though, because there's a great X-ray of Bobby and Amos. Bobby's overconfidence bites her when it comes to Amos.
I can't wait to see it.
Oh, I can't say what it is, but you'll see. It does, but also someone just kind of gets in a bad way. So she would. I don't want to say.
You should probably talk a little bit about the X-rays and what it is.
Yeah, so we have one of the things we got to do this season. Thank you, Amazon. We'd always talked about doing little mini vignettes between episodes. We'd been talking about this clear back to like season 3 or 4, and we just never had the time or the resources or the ability to do it. This season, Amazon said, "Hey, why don't you guys go ahead and do that? And here's the resources. Here's the money to make them." So we got to make these 5 little, 3 to 5 minute short stories with, the characters from the show. And they're not important to the plot. They're not like, you don't have to watch them to understand what's going on. But if you just want to know a little extra about the characters, a little scene from their past or a little scene of what they're doing now that explains some of the character motivations, they're great for that. And one of those X-ray extras is Bobby and Amos trying to out-alpha each other a little bit, and leads to a little bit of a tussle. It's very fun. I'm not going to give it away, but...
Is that the one you wrote?
Yeah.
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 It's written by Wes Chatham.
And it was you and Glenn, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Glenn. But yesterday we were talking about the Expanse a bunch, and one of the questions that a lot of people ask is who is the most different than their characters, and hands down everybody is like Frankie. Frankie is so different than Bobby Draper.
I think she's tied with Kara.
Yeah.
As drummer.
That's true.
I think the two of them are tied for most different from their character.
Right.
Yeah.
But
we're
because
both so smiley and fun.
I don't know. I
Because
see
their characters are so extreme.
I can see
and militant.
I can see if you get on the wrong side of Kara, you can see drummer coming. So
I've never been on the wrong side of Kara.
Okay.
I never planned to be on the wrong side of Kara, so I'll never see that.
But drummer is alive and well there. But Frankie, just in terms of her demeanor and the way she moves and everything, like it's just such a different thing. In terms of preparation, like the physicality and like what did you do to really embody Bobby?
I trained a lot. I don't know. It just kind of happened when I put the costume on. I think it was just something. Sorry about that beeping, rude.
It's okay. We've had a lot of that today.
I think I watched a lot of military sort of training videos, and I noticed like a lot of them had incredible posture and were quite straight and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think it just kind of happened organically, but I'm not like that at all. I slouch and I smile a lot more than Bobby does. But I think Bobby's kind of found her sense of humor and a bit of joy nowadays.
Well, we did make her deadlift a lot of heavy things. So I kept seeing pictures of Frankie at the gym, like deadlifting a bar just like covered in weights. I'm like, oh, is that what we're doing to her when she's not here?
Oh, yeah.
I like, the mission to take over the Azor Dragon and to capture it. And there's the resistance from Amos. There's a resistance from Holden. And then as we're going, you have different opinion how to go about it with Holden. But you have operational command. And I'm just curious, what does Bobby think of Holden? And especially in a combat situation like that. And where does she think that does she feel as if like, okay, I need to take charge now and get this done?
Well, I think there's like a huge level of respect there, and they've sort of become acquaintances over the years, but she has been sent there by Avasarala for a purpose. And once decisions aren't being made, she comes in very quickly and decides very quickly what's going on. And I love that scene. I like yell at him quite aggressively. And I don't think anyone's done that. Maybe Naomi has, but it was very satisfying for me.
Yeah, I mean, I love the confidence, coming on the ship and be like, I'm in charge. Like, this is what we're going to do, and then I'm going to thing, and you give me the command.
Well, there's a long history in military movies and stuff of the senior sergeant who has to put up with the idiot lieutenant. And, Holden was a lieutenant in the Navy. Bobby's a gunnery sergeant in the Marines. So that's that dynamic of like, I'm the one who actually understands what's going on. It's nice that you have a higher rank, but it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Right. And it raises the tension. Yeah. Because you get really scared. You're like, is she right? I really trust her. No, she's very confident, but is it going to happen?
Yeah.
Well, and it keys off of one of your big moments, which is there's a moment when somebody's supposed to be doing something and they hesitate. And Clarissa goes, well, I'll just do it then. And just grabs the thing and takes off, which nobody had planned for, which kind of throws a monkey wrench. I mean, it works out in the end. Yeah. But part of it, we were talking about her need for love, her need to be accepted. You can really see in that moment, she's like, maybe they'll like me if I do this.
I'll try and do it.
I'll do it, and then everybody will be my friend. Yeah.
Is that what motivated that situation? So we can talk. So when Naomi was, she had a job to do with the taking over the Azure Dragon, and the trauma that she experienced last season, and she just had a flashback of jumping out and she couldn't do it, and you saw that she was in trouble, and you're like, don't worry, I got this, and you go out and you do it. Is this your motivation? Because you think on some level that maybe this will win the crew's approval?
Yes, especially Naomi's. Because I can see in that moment, I mean, in the way that she played it, like I just genuinely was like, oh, are you okay? Like, do you need help? Like, I'll help you, And Naomi's, I think, the first one for her to win the approval of. And then in general, she's just there to serve everyone. Like, obviously, like you, but your family. She's want everyone to die. That'd be bad. She's going down if you guys die. Like, she's done.
This is a funny story because when I saw this and I saw you throw open your helmet, it reminds me at season 5 when you and I were stuck out in the woods freezing, and you remember that they had you throwing up constantly, and
I told you a secret that you kept throwing it in my face.
And so there was this. I remember this was when you were on the couch and you were throwing up, and I don't remember if there was some. I think there was a time when like Breck was directing, it was like take after take, and I remember you just hovering over the bowl, and I don't know what they were giving you to throw up, but I just see it like coming out of your mouth, and you're like,
it's like chicken tortilla
could you
soup
please stop making me throw up? And it was everybody laughed. It was such a good moment. And then I see that they have you throw up in your mask, going to the scene. But this time it was CG, so that was a better experience.
But it's a lot of time, effort, and thought, and a lot of money, and a lot of very talented artists made the most perfect CGI vomit.
It was well done.
Yeah, a ton of work went into making CGI vomit. So the glamour of the entertainment industry, the glamour of television, is you might wind up making CGI vomit for a living.
It looks good. I was convinced it was like,
it's horrifying. It's super gross. Yeah.
Could you talk a little bit about what's going on with her medically, with her triggering her mods, and she has, when at the end when she starts to get sick, and there's like a degenerative something happening with her.
Yeah. So the idea there is she has a mechanical device and an artificial gland in her head. What she triggers this device, the gland pumps her full of hormones. Adrenaline and a bunch of other things that give her enhanced reflexes, enhanced speed, all of those things. But it's illegal. This is not a legal thing. And whatever, back of the alley shop she got this thing installed in, it didn't pass FDA testing. Mm-hmm. And the constant trickle of these artificial hormones into her bloodstream, this constant low-level trickle of it, is having a health impact. Her system is slowly starting to shut down, and her body is having a bad reaction to this constant thing, and so she's having to deal with that. And when she triggers the mods, they have a serious impact on her system, and it's getting worse as time goes on.
What happened to that part of the scene where the big missile guy is about to shoot Bobby, and they're like, Bobby! They just edited that out, remember? When we were like, scream, scream.
What does happen in that scene?
Well, so, I mean, okay, so let's talk some process. So we shoot a lot of things.
Wait, have
And-
you guys seen it?
You haven't seen the
it.
show?
You didn't watch it. You've been busy shooting, girl.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
You got the link probably in your email.
I'm sorry.
By the way, Frankie
Sorry.
Adams is shooting in Australia with Ripley right now.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah,
So
You're only shooting with Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
One of the greatest actors in American history.
She's the best, one of the best humans ever, by the way.
Oh,
I love
cool.
her. She's
Yeah.
amazing.
So you have an excuse for not having watched the other show that you work on. But yeah, so we shoot a lot of stuff, and then it goes into the editing suite, and the director has an opinion on what it should look like, and the editor has an opinion on what it looks like, and then Narain has an opinion, and his is the only opinion that counts. Mm-hmm. So Narain cuts it to what he wants it to be, and what we did with that scene specifically is we cut it for pace.
Yeah.
To make everything feel like it's happening one right after another. There's no time to think. There's no time to react. It's just she's doing stuff, then a bad guy shows up, then you do something, and it's just get through it as quickly as possible so that it feels chaotic.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff that sort of slowed the pace down, we just cut. So that's the joy of being an actor. You may put a lot of effort into something that no one will ever see.
in the director's cut, they'll have that scene.
Yeah. When you watch the
No, the
director's cut.
scene's there. It's there.
It was just a reaction.
It was just a screaming of Bobby's name, Bobby! And we kept doing it over and over and over. But I will never forget your line. You're like, we don't want to be here when the ship takes off or it blows up. I'm like, I know.
You know, I've come onto a show before where they've already been established and everybody knows everybody, and I know what that feels like. And how was that like for you coming on and you have a crew and a cast that's been together? It's always disorienting and it's always challenging because people have been working, and you kind of come on and you see all these people that know each other and they have this second hand. You're like, I haven't been a part of the process this long. Like, I don't, and then you kind of go in there. So what was that like for you coming on twice?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it was easier probably than most because we had the table reads where everyone would get together, so we got to introduce everyone, and there's always good vibes. And then we went and had that really fun Halloween party,
Oh, yeah.
and we just had like a blast. And I don't know, we just kind of gallivanted around Toronto a bit, and we had so much fun. So I think it was easy. It was easy to integrate. So there's no
So you're saying,
problems. Everyone's so kind on
Yeah.
the set. Like,
oh, because we were so wonderful and kind, it was just like,
yeah. I mean, you're a little intimidating. Amos is super intimidating, but you're like a teddy bear. You're a good guy.
Right.
Everyone's good people.
I will say on the producing side, because it's unusual to have somebody be an important character, go away for an entire season and come back and be an important character again. And on the production side, like the line producer and people like that, they didn't understand it. Mm-hmm. And we kept, every time we'd say, make sure you hold Nadine for season 5. They'd be like, do we have to? Do we need to do that? And it was a constant fight. We have to hold her. They're like, well, she's only got one episode this season. Do we really have to? Yes, you have to hold her. Like the line editor, every chance they were trying to cut that. Every chance they got because they just
and
didn't
then it
understand
almost got dropped, and I was like, is this going to happen? Is it not? Do I have to wait another year?
Yeah, it's not a thing that you see a lot in TV. So they just didn't get it. They didn't understand it. Like, why did she have to come back?
Hundreds of people involved
Yeah.
on set and
Yeah.
acting and producing. It's like,
Frankie, I remember the first time when you came to Toronto, and I don't know if you remember, but we all went out and we had a good time. And I just think about you when I first met you and now, and how much you've grown and the work that you've done on this show is just so incredible. And not to ask too big of a question, but on a personal level, like, what has this show meant to you, and what have you learned going through?
Gosh, that's actually a really good question. I think, well, I was only 22 when I got the job, so I think if anyone can imagine from there until
Just
now,
a baby,
I'm almost
yeah.
28 now,
Yeah.
a lot of changes happen in anyone's life. So being on a show was a lot of responsibility, but I think it really built my confidence. It allowed me to come into my womanhood, find certain parts of strength in me that I did not know existed, and build really lifelong friends. Also to be with a character for many years was a great challenge and like taught me how things can develop. Yeah, I mean, I feel very. I see shots of Bobby now on season 5 and 6, and I'm like, I am grown. Like, what happened? Like, really, and yeah, and I think everyone is probably seeing that. All of you guys who know and love me, but yeah, I definitely feel very grown up, and a lot of the experiences that I learned on that show, I will take with me forever.
And how would you say that Bobby's different from when we first see her till now?
Oh gosh, I think similarly, she's grown up too. She thinks before she does things. She's got more confidence in her voice and her opinions and what she knows. Yeah. I mean, she didn't take any shit at the beginning, and now she really doesn't take any shit, and I really like that. Also, she looks older too, like I do.
I mean, is it fair to say that along with that, not taking any shit, there's a bit more playfulness to her in these later seasons, where her confidence allows her to be a little more playful?
Yeah, absolutely. I think she's got this charm and sense of humor that I really love to play, because it doesn't take away from how badass she is. I think it just adds to it. So yeah, I'd say she's a little more relaxed in that way. Did you guys write her like that because I'm funny?
Of course. I'm answering as if I. No, you gotta answer.
Wes was writing all of the scripts this season. Yeah, he thought it was important.
That's like
that's why we wrote
when Frankie and I, when we give interviews, we like to say we improv all of our scenes. Like, basically, we make up our lines as we go. We don't have any writers. What are you talking about? That's just stuff off the top of our heads.
So now that Frankie Bobby has answered the question, so I think we have to ask you the same question. Are you a different person now than when we started this? How have you changed? What has the Expanse done to your psyche?
I mean, I always grow a lot. Like I, as Nadine, love growing and development. So I do a lot of work. But this has been my first like big show. So I feel like I'm still a growing artist. And for a series reg contract, so being able to do multiple years with, and then with the role as Clarissa, that was really challenging at first and made me really nervous. I didn't know if I was going to be capable of delivering it in a way that did it real justice. So of course, like I've learned so much. We were talking about this yesterday. At the very beginning of when we went to go shoot season 5, I always write down my goals for every year. And then I was writing down like want to work with the best of the best so I could like level up and learn. And
I hope that happens for you someday.
And I was working with him.
It was the inverse of those goals that happened to you.
I have to write that again for this year. No, but we were working in the cabin. We were doing that scene about the monster poem, and that was like a really fun, hard week. But I just remember you coming and showing up, and like you would nail a lot of your first takes. Like you just do that a lot. You don't really drop a lot of lines, and I was just like, oh, okay, like I need to work harder. I need to show up and be a little bit more like Wes. And just seeing everyone on set, like and Shohreh's power, and when Ashford was there, like I would just go to set just to watch him and learn. And then just the process with you guys. I don't know if it's like that on every set where the writers and the execs are so available to talk about any, high concept or character development, but it was just, I felt like held. So then I could lean into it and develop and grow real fast. And I think that, any projects that I may do in the future, I hope that it like lives up to the half as much as I've learned here,
It will probably be much better written and much meaner. We're not very talented, but we're really nice. Yeah, that is the saving grace of our show. We're all really nice.
What did you learn, Wes?
Stephen and I did have a conversation one day, and I was talking about what is motivating us to get in this business and why are we doing what we do. And when I was younger, there were film and television, there were certain projects that were so powerful to me. They meant so much, and they were more than this fictional story that I saw. I mean, it was something that I kind of took and I carried with me, and it helped me understand life better, helped me understand the world better. And what I said to him is, you know, my whole motivation and my whole, you know, goal is to just be a part of something like that, something that's important and something that can shed a little light on the world around you, and just, you know, tell a story that has truth and reality and that's beautiful and sad. And then we both look at each other and we said, you know, if we can finish The Expanse and we can continue the level that we feel like the show has been and continue working as hard as we can. And this was season 3. We didn't even know if we were getting season 4. But we were like, if the dream is if we can come to that, bring this show to completion, then The Expanse could possibly be that thing that it has the same impact on other people's lives that meant so much to us. And it's kind of like the playing it forward, giving, you know, whatever we have to give to this thing. And I hope and I feel personally that we may have achieved that, and that's so fulfilling. And so now I can just quit and go home.
No, you
I think
feel
we can
that
all
from
just
the
retire
fans.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But all right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out, and this was 602, and thank our guests.
Thank you for coming all the way from Australia.
Thank you for coming all the way to Australia. I feel so honored. Please tell Ripley we said hello.
I will definitely let her know.
All right. Say goodbye, Ty.
Goodbye, Ty.
Goodbye, Ty.
Say goodbye, Ty.
Goodbye, Ty.